Hola everyone, Denisa here. I am going to be talking about transformational healing and sexual magnetism with Ben Rode. Let's see if he can come on. Ben, invite. All right. The invite was sent. All right. Hi, Ilya. We're going to be talking about transformational healing and sexual magnetism as soon as I can get Ben on with me. There you are. Hola, Ben. So, my brother, listen, there we go. Please be in my video. Yes. Approve. And we are on. Can you hear me?
Gotcha. There you go. Oh my gosh, it worked.
It's working.
Good morning.
Oh my
Buenos
God.
dias.
Buenos dias. You know, you guys were the Gen X generation. We were not born with this. Yeah, remember the days before email?
Before email?
Uh-huh.
It's been a while. I think I got my first
Anyway.
email with my first business.
So thankful for this generation of the internet, the exo mind. Yeah, this is the true social complex happening, the one mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Ben, well, welcome. Today we're going to dive into transformational healing and sexual magnetism, back-to-back beautiful retreats in Costa Rica from April 9th to the 13th. And from April 16th to the 20th. The first retreat is all about transformational healing, and that will be all about really stepping into our full sovereignty as human beings and setting our physiology in that kind of frequency. But today's talk, we will really focus on the sexual magnetism piece. Ben, do you have anything to add before we dive in?
No, I'm just excited to hear what you're going to say. I'm like dying to hear about all your information. It's all stuff that I geek out on. So all this, like your unique opinion as, someone with a doctor in front of her name.
Well, before I was a doctor, I traveled the world. I was, I'm an Aquarian Pisces. I love my freedom. I love my flow. I love the non-ordinary states of consciousness, the ecstasis, the bliss, and that is
all the good stuff.
why I ended up. Yeah, you're upside down now, which I can totally handle.
I know. I'm trying to get it to turn around so I can have my camera next to my face, but I guess once you get started, it's not working. Okay, cancel that.
No worry. So, Bliss, I am the curator of a beautiful brand for women called Bliss Designed. It's essentially designing women's lives for bliss. When I was practicing in full force, classic, integrative, functional naturopathic medicine in Hawaii in my clinic, I came to a standpoint realizing that fixing hormones and administering intravenous nutrients and doing stem cell therapies is nice, but it is actually really just the surface of what a woman's transformation really needs. So one night, in the middle of the night, one New Year's Eve, I walked all night along the beach. I got closed in at the national park, and so I ended up spending a whole night walking and just asking the gods and the goddesses of the Big Island to tell me how am I to practice medicine, because I feel it wasn't deep enough, it wasn't wide enough, it wasn't really, you know, getting to the root of a woman's awakening and a woman's transformation and woman's freedom, because ultimately health is when it's really locked into our sovereign freedom. So Bliss Design was born on one night in the middle of Hawaii, in the middle of a Hawaiian night, and it came down as a download, as a channeling, and from there on I began little by little designing women's lives, not just for health, but actually for bliss. Now, bliss is actually a word that is so misunderstood. You know, it's really linked to the joy surfing, tantra, erotic kind of languaging, but the bliss that I really talk about in my work and in really tapping into this frequency for women is the bliss we experience when we realize our true, inherent, infinite, sovereign freedom. And at that moment, like a veil comes off and you are able to see and feel and experience different, you know, shades of bliss. But sincerely, you are now in a state where you are what I call merteous, unendurable, uninjurable. Yeah. And from there on, true health begins to set in. It first starts to set in to your mind, and then it trickles down to your body, to the elemental level. So that is how I continued to do medicine. And over the years, more and more and more and more, Bliss Design as a brand is calling my attention. And so now I am finally fully in full dedication to this calling, to this chief entity, Bliss. And that's what brings me to Synergita partly as well, because a part of this movement is to begin really working personally one-on-one with women and couples and folks in a retreat type of transformational environment. And I think it's a really important part of healing, and it's an important part of igniting the energy to create what we really are meant to create in this incarnation. So that's cool. A little bit of the that's a little bit of the background. So what I'll be coming in with to the Sexual Magnetism Retreat is really firstly setting us into sovereign frequency as women and men that will be there, really stepping into our free will, our choice points, our sovereignty, our cosmic independence in a way, interdependence ultimately, but we have to begin with realizing that we are no longer victims of our circumstances. We essentially, the first step we work on is dissolving the victim. And I believe in 3D reality as human beings. That is the main theme of the human lifetime, is to truly dissolve the victimhood that we were. We kind of, our psychology ends up locking us in. Yeah, it's just totally normal. It's sweet. It's very innocent. But we all end up little victims of this pain and that hurt and that hurt. And, you know, sometimes it's really devastating. It's very traumatic and we must heal it. And yes, however, we are all on the same path towards dissolving that victim frequency, accessing the inherent freedom, and the past becoming, as we said last time, benign data, and existing but not having a trigger hold on our psychology and on our metaphysics and our body too. Yeah. So first thing we do is we step into sovereignty, and that will be the first movement of this sexual magnetism retreat. You cannot unlock that kind of sexual magnetism if you don't feel you're free to choose. And a part of that is allowing, you know, really stepping into allowing you to move out of that space. So In my Bliss Designed Love Salon series, I talk about 6 cosmic movements of the full spectrum sexual human. And the first movement is allowing you, releasing the old patterns, allowing you to move into ascension, evolution, freedom. You have to give yourself that permission. No one can. No healer, no shaman, no one. Ultimately, at the end of the game, it's really us. So since we're all adults and, we have to step into our big boy, big girl pants at some point, and this is and this is a good reason to really unlock that sexual magnetism that you talked about yesterday, being totally solar fuel to manifestation. Are you with me still?
Yeah. What do you think is the biggest block to people like stepping into their big girl pants and saying, okay, fine, I'm going to get this? I mean, of course, once they have an awareness that something's not working, I mean, obviously the first step is like even having an awareness that something isn't working and that it could be better. And then once they decide, okay, I want to do something, still often people won't do it until it gets bad enough that they're like, the pain of not having a better sex life or better connection with their body or better connection with their bliss, the pain gets so much that they say, okay, I have to do it. What would you say is the number 1 or 2 reasons that people won't give themselves this gift?
Well, I really look at it on a personalized level. When I work with clients, I'm using human design and gene keys to really look at their cosmic signature and what are the actual really important shadows that they're dealing with in their lives. So it can be anything from lack of trust. It took me until my 40s to actually get what it means to have trust in the universe. I felt like I had to pull it off on my own, right? So a lot of us don't have that trust. We are depleted, exhausted, overwhelmed. We don't have the energy to actually change. It takes a great amount of energy. I think there is a saying in Japanese language, it takes 3 years to warm a stone. Yeah. So it takes a ton of heat and energy and will to shift realities. So yes, there can be some really important subconscious blocks that we carry in from our DNA, from our ancestors, or even from our upbringing. But ultimately, I think when we give people energy, and this is what I found really beautiful about integrative functional medicine when I was practicing and doing IVs, is really just adding high quality nutrients, repairing the hormone triad, gave people the energy to begin seeing the possibilities. Even rebalancing the endocannabinoid system alone, just a shift in your homeostasis can give you the energy to see what is possible. I think a lot of us are toxic, we're exhausted, adrenal dysfunction, thyroid is low, testosterone is really depleted, women's hormones are out of whack. Physiology alone does a lot of that blocking. And of course, our subconscious programming, the gene keys will give you an idea of what are the main shadows really activated in your particular lifetime. And just really going for just one after the other, dissolving them. So
Did you say that physiology can mess up somebody's hormones?
Physiology alone can create the blocks. Yeah.
Tell me how that works. I like this.
Yeah. So as much as our mind creates the body, our mind designs the body, the body designs the mind back. Essential. It's a cycle. It's a toroidal loop. Yeah. When we work with mindset, never talking about the body and really completely resetting cellular physiology and energetics. You know, I take the Chinese medicine pulse and I do the higher diagnosis and I sense the energetic blocks in the person's body to see what is actually blocking them from accessing their metaphysical freedom, for sabotaging themselves. You know, so it's a loop. So our mind designs the body, but the body designs the mind back. So that's what I
I
mean
totally
by
agree with that.
physiology.
That's so when we you know, people often talk about depression and say, well, it's a chemical imbalance. And then we're like, well, just, you know, sit up straight and do things that, you know, there's a lot you can do to actually change the chemistry. It's, you know, my question is, well, what is creating that chemical imbalance, right? And often, you know, it's like posture. Like if you're sitting like this for long enough, you'll feel unsafe and you know, like hiding and, you know, whereas if you're like this, it does something different. If you're laying in bed all day, it's going to literally change your chemistry versus if you're going for runs and if you're out, you know, talking with people and, yeah, everything affects everything.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a beautiful, beautiful loop. And you know, when you do the Superwoman pose, there is a boost of 20% in your testosterone levels. I mean, they have found actual data in this that it gives you like a boost of, okay, rock it out, let's go, let's fight
Yeah.
the world, let's, you know. So yes, and that's why yoga, and of course, I will be talking about the meridional Chinese medicine yoga, stretching the meridians, activating those. Because even just activating the spleen meridian and the liver chi really changes your ability to find the strength to just make a new choice. And the endocannabinoid system, what's coming around in this whole science of our homeostasis being linked to our own endocannabinoids is fascinating, and how that's related to our sexual magnetism alone. We'll cover that too. It'll be really fun. So
This is
physiology,
fascinating.
absolutely. You know, our sexuality, our sexual energy is certainly, you know, we have many different bodies. We have the elemental body, we have the physical body, we have the personality body, we have the social body, we have the yogic body, we have the Buddha body. So at all of those levels, sexual energy is awakened just subtly in different ways. So I talk about that in really the six types of sexuality is related to these bodies, these etheric bodies that we have. But coming back, so we step into our sovereignty, and then we really dive into the whole concept of polarity. Have you found polarity to be such a big, big, big piece of the sexual magnetism topic?
So
In
one
this
thing I noticed is we don't
incarnation,
have any couples yet coming to this sexual magnetism event. It would make a lot of sense for, like, I want to get at least one couple here so we can, you know, like have them practice together that sexual magnetism and notice, you know, how their physiology is, how they're holding themselves, if they're able to hold eye contact. Where we call it a, you know, if you get someone to look at each other long enough, or if you get a couple to sit with each other long enough, we often find this like a tick. There's like a tick somewhere that shows where the fatal error in the code is, right? Like the 404 error, where if you click on it, you know, it's like page not found. And so then you got to get someone to go code the website and pull out the broken code and put in the link that works. Humans are the same way. You know, if we're looking at somebody and we're like not able to hold eye contact, or we're nervous, or we're shaking or whatever, you know, there are ways of getting people back into that and creating that polarity again. And so I want to get at least one couple. So if you're watching this and you've got a life partner that you want to come here with, get out here. It's like in a couple weeks, and you'll leave with everything changed. You'll probably have the best sex of your life while you're here.
Oh yeah. And look at the great company. Like, you can't get better combo, right? And you know, it's all about creating a sense of openness. That's the next movement after we really dive into polarity. You know, we came into this incarnation as human beings in these bodies, and at this level of human evolution, we are in 3D bodies, and there is a polarity. Feminine, masculine, yin and yang, expansion, contraction. So we really begin to sense that in the exercises and the practices that I do. And it's really key to begin to see yin and yang all around you, to really start to see that flow of the polarity in everything around us, so that you can recognize when you're in a yin state, when you're repelling other yin states. Yeah. So there is the law of attraction and law of repulsion working at the 3D, 4D level, because we're still not fully out of the duality. Yeah. Once you step into a 6-dimensional, 7-dimensional beingness, then at that moment you will no longer have to deal with the yin and yang, because you will be fused into one beautiful infinite intelligence. But right now we got what we got. It's gorgeous, it's fun, it's really nice and tense, and we're going to work with it. So polarity, and then of course, you agree?
100%. So okay, another question for you. What percentage of orgasm would you say is in the head? Like, for women that aren't able to orgasm, or at least not often, what percent of orgasm would you say is in the head?
I don't have a number. I don't follow this research closely, but would you say, are you asking kind of my sense of what I've seen, what I've experienced, what I've heard from?
Yeah, I mean, there's no
women?
Research about this. It's just,
yeah,
like you know, what we found is when somebody knows what to focus on, and when somebody, you know, if somebody's not able to have an orgasm, it's because they're focused on, you know, other things, or they don't know where to focus. And so, you know, we found that orgasm's like 90% in the head, where it's, I mean, very physical, very little physical touch even is necessary. One of the exercises I'll be doing at this retreat is the hypnotic orgasm, where I'll literally do hypnosis and walk everyone through an orgasm with no touch, clothes are on. It's just following the energy and the attention to climax. And so when you can, so now you're in the walls and you understand, oh, that's where it is. That's the radio frequency that I have to tune to have that orgasm. And then they can take it back with their partner and make love with their partner. And it's even easier because they know where to go. They know what to focus on.
Yeah, I'm not an expert in couples therapy. I really work with individuals much more, because I've been a physician for most of my professional life. So I'm not a sex counselor or sexologist or so on. But what I have found over the years of working with thousands and thousands of women, and sex comes up every time because it's such an important energy for the woman, is that the ability to surrender and the extent to which she's able to open is directly related to her capacity to orgasm. And what I'm finding in this you know, day and age of where we are as women is that we have difficulty completely surrendering to our masculine partners, because, you know, we are polarized to masculine energy. We are strong, we are independent, we are, you know, professionals. And so that energy has to be really cultivated. And sometimes when you have a partner who is not as strong as you, you have to learn how to surrender whether he'll catch you or not. And that counseling and really working with women on that level is their ability to surrender and catch themselves has really made a huge difference in their ability to orgasm, to ejaculate, just that openness, that surrender, really stepping into a frequency of the feminine at that level. So it'll be fascinating to see what your approach is, and I'm sure I'm going to learn a ton, because I don't work with couples. You know, they don't sit in front of me, and we don't do you know, the practices and so on. So I can't wait to learn from you as well.
Cool.
Yeah,
We got to get a couple first.
you.
But yeah, it's my favorite because it's so, you know, it's so easy for me to see what's coming up. So if they sit with each other and they start communicating, I can see what's going to take them off in the wrong direction, what's going to take them over here versus, you know, I call it bumper bowling. It's like, you know, the strike, this, you know, bowling a strike is like the X marks the spot on the map. It's what we're looking for in a relationship, which is the intimacy, the love, the depth, the connection. And so the way we communicate with each other, and like you said, with the women that have, you know, that are professional women that maybe have men that aren't as strong as them, it's often the professional women that are, you know, they're used to telling people what to do all day, they're coaching, then they get home and they tell their husband what to do and coach their husband, and they actually don't allow him to be the king. They don't allow him to take that position because she's constantly kind of, you know, holding him down or mothering him or something. And so when we can just adjust the language, adjust the tone, adjust the frequency a little bit so that she can speak in a way that, you know, she's like, I want you to be my king. You know, he's like, well, give me some space to be the king, you know. But if she can speak to him like he's the king, my king, thank you, I love you, you're so amazing, and lift him up so that he can, you know, like puff him up a little bit so he can actually be the king. And when he is the best version of himself, now she can be the queen. Now she can be the best version of herself. And then allows him to go to the next level too. And so, yeah, working with couples is so powerful because it's, you know, right now it's not about the divine masculine stepping it up or the divine feminine stepping up. It's the both of them stepping it up together. It's not like the women are going to come, you know, when the Dalai Lama said it's going to be the Western woman that changes the world. It's not because she's going to go out and do it on her own. It's because she is going to help her man become the king. She is going to help her man become the best version of himself so that he can help her become the best version of herself. So this cycle can keep going and we can grow together and check each other and balance each other. And so that when she helps him be able to balance her, now she can balance him, he can balance her. And now as we grow, we don't get unsteady and fall over. You know, like this is what we need right now is life partners on life purpose who have the skills, who have the training, who have the feedback mechanism installed in the relationship that allows for the creation using that sexual energy. And in order to create with the sexual energy, with the most powerful force available to us as humans, we have to have our stuff figured out inside and out. So that's what I have to say about that.
I
It's
agree
my favorite
with, it's beautiful. And, you know, it's partly coming from your, the fact that you have a really, really healthy twin flame love in your life. And that is so rare for humans to find. So, you know, I personally, you know, I personally have had one twin flame and that went all in flames because none of us were integrated. But you and Jen have you know, worked through that, and that takes a certain level of evolution, maturity, and so on.
Yeah, and that's, you know, the reason we had to work through it, because when we first met and we were just like crazy people, and you know, we had the cops called on us, and I ran out the back door and ran away from the cops for hours. And I mean, we had the worst relation. Like, people come to us, they're like, our relationship is so horrible, we wanted a divorce. And I'm like, was it worse than this? You know, tell them a couple stories about glass broken everywhere. And you know, everyone always says, well, you guys have it great because you have a great relationship. Well, we had to figure out the relationship in order to be able to grow the way that we have, and in order to help other couples. So a lot of the twin flame couples out there do crash and burn because it's such a make or break thing. It's such a, you know, it's like, if it doesn't work out, there's no way it's going to work out. And it's kind of like once you're in this orbit, and once you leave the orbit, like, how do you get back into orbit? You know, it's even more difficult. And so that's why, you know, I feel like we had to focus the first several years of our relationship on teaching sex and sexuality and relationships, and specifically download new information about twin flame relationships and all this, is because our sex wasn't working. We were having the worst sex of our life, and I was used to having incredible sex, and you know, it was I didn't know what to do. I mean, it was so funny. Jen was, you know, we'd be in the bedroom and she's like, you need to do it like this, and I'm like, no, you need to let me lead. You need to let, and then you know, she's like, this is my body, I'll tell you what to do. And I like got up, walked out into the room. I had like this like sex coaching certificate, and like got it off the wall, and I like showed it to her, and I was like, look, you need to listen to me. I mean, it was like we were out of control. I mean, we were crazy people, and so this is where we were coaching people on their relationships. And so we said, fuck, we're really good at coaching people. Why don't we take our own advice? We've got to start doing the stuff that we're telling people to do. And so we did, and you know, we don't have to have those fights anymore. Now we get to grow together and continue growing, and yeah, it makes it a whole lot easier.
And you know, and that's, you know, I have to say, it'll be great to have you there in partnership with this curation, because that is your you know, area of genius. It isn't mine. I mean, I've had amazing relationships. I've worked with women who've had relationships, but I don't coach couples.
Yeah, that's my job.
But yeah, that's your job. But the exciting thing is that, you know, when we have women and men coming to this retreat and they're on their own, that's fine too, because the sexual magnetism is an energy that we can cultivate and ignite at any point ourselves, whether we're solo, whether we are, you know, single or separated, divorced, it doesn't matter. That energy is inherent in all of us right now, ignitable.
Yeah, and that'll be the goal, is with the single people here, to help them use that sexual energy, use that sexual magnetism to bring in their life partner. So now that they can do it in relationship, now they don't have to do it by themselves. Of course they can, but you know, at some point the goal is to bring in the life partner that is perfect for us, that is our best friend, that's our life partner and on life purpose, that can do all the stuff in the business that, you know, we don't want to do. It's the synergy, you know, the two are better than you know, what is synergy? Synergy is I can't remember how to say it right now, but the whole theme of Synergita is we're better together, right? We're better together, like together, and not just in romantic partnership, but like in this partnership that you and I have right now, like in co-creating this retreat, and in the partnership we're going to have with the people that are attending the retreat. Like, we're all better together. None of us can do it alone. We all need to be in this community, growing together, supporting each other in all of our different skills and our different skill sets. And that's what's so exciting. The co-creation.
I love that. Co-creation. Yes, absolutely. So we would, you know, just to touch on a few more things that are really key to understand is positively polarizing sexuality in our lives. We have all known instances when we were drawn into submission, domination, control, jealousy, you know, all kinds of really negatively polarizing, depleting energies around sex. And you know, that's a part of the human evolution. It's where it's been at, and some of us were touched by it. So really taking everything that we do, from fantasy to loving our partner to being on our own, sexually fully spectrum human, to the kink, to the racy sides of sexuality, to polarize it all towards our evolution. And learning how to do that is a part of what I always touch on with sexuality, because I believe it's really healthy for a woman to have full spectrum sexuality, especially if she's not with a single partner, for her to be able to know her desires, experience her desires, as long as, of course, they're ethically, you know, really clean and not hurting anyone and so on, but really always polarizing all the experimentation towards positive evolution. And that's what I talk about a lot in my Salon series around the Bliss designed love. using creating sexual energy to manifest pure goodness for humanity. That's ultimately the purpose of all that we're doing here. Yeah.
Out with the old, in
What
with the
else is there to
new.
do?
Yeah, what else is there, man? That's I mean, it's magical energy that we've been given to hack the matrix and do some crazy stuff, so we might as well use it.
Yeah,
Might
to
as well
create
figure out how to
a,
wield it.
yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful. So let's really beautify it. Let's pull the beauty out, pull the beauty in, and just kind of be modern and evolved future human. Yeah.
Yep, it's
So
everything we've used
please.
to create this place. So it's, oh, you know what's funny? I'll tell one story, and then I want you to tell people how to get here. We had a woman that came to we had a retreat center a few years back. I think this was 4 years ago in San Diego, and there was a woman that wanted to hold her book course at our retreat center. And so she comes over to check the place out, and she's like looking around, and she's like, you know, a few minutes in, she goes, well, there's a lot of sexual energy in here that I'd have to clear out before the book course. And I was like, no, why would you want to clear the sexual energy? Like, no, you use the sexual energy to write the book, to channel the information, to make it exciting, to make it juicy. We put a lot of energy into, you know, creating a place that holds that energy, and it is a safe energy. So yeah, so what better place to learn about sexual energy and sexual magnetism than in a place that was created through orgasm, like the birth of a child, like creating a child, right? We created this place through using Jen's G-spot. So we'll be talking about that too. So how do people get here?
That's beautiful. I love that. Okay, so you tell me how they get there, but basically the dates are April 9th to the 13th is the Transformational Healing Retreat. And from April 16th to the 20th is the Sexual Magnetism Retreat. They are back to back. There's a beautiful special on for both. So please book before the end of the week. And to get to Costa Rica.
Yeah, well, they don't need to.
Yeah,
they don't need to know about how to get here until they're like invested in actually coming. So, like, what you have a gift for people that are coming, right? So our gift is if you come for both, then you get a huge discount. It's like, so usually it's $2,500 for the lowest available room, and for each retreat, and so that would be $5,000 for 2 retreats. Now, if you want to come to these 2 retreats, because it's so last minute, if you want to jump on it, we'll give you both retreats for $3,000, and you also get to stay for the 2 days in between retreats. That includes food, that includes your room, that includes the courses, that includes everything. You know, there are extras like horse riding and massage and stuff like that. But 3,000, I mean, it's 12 days. It's $400 a day, right, for this luxury retreat. Like, that's, you know, it's a killer deal. It's a killer deal. So come out, enjoy yourself, have a transformation while you're at it. We have a resort 10 minutes away from here. I think they're charging about $450 to $500 per night right now. That doesn't include food. You know, it's another extra $150 a day for food over there. So that comes out to about $650 a night. Of course, it doesn't include all the stuff that this place includes too. So if you have the dates and you're even a little bit interested, make it out here. Come relax, come recharge for almost 2 weeks. Write a book or something, channel some good information, then go back into your life a new person. And the people that have been coming here are saying that, you know, because these retreats are so light, you know, it's like a little talk in the morning, a little talk at night, and the rest of the day is just, you're sitting in it. You're sitting in the energy, and you're sitting in this energy at this wealth vibration. And so it's a transformation all on its own. And people keep saying that, like, they go home and it just keeps going because they have the energy now, and it just keeps perpetuating itself. And they're like, I'm in it and it's not stopping. And so that's the field that we're creating here. And so if that's something you're looking for, then get out here, come hang out with us. We're going to be doing some cool stuff. So now you had some free gifts for them, right? If they come.
Yes, absolutely. Anyone who comes for these 2 retreats receives a complimentary Bliss designed Salon series from me. I run 4 Salon series. One is called the Bliss Designed Woman. It's all about the frequency. You can choose that. It's all about loving you, knowing you, freeing you, igniting you, aligning you, emerging the you plus the genuine highest version of you. So it's all about really setting bliss designed frequency into your life, designing for bliss. Okay, you know, that's just basically what we are here for. And then, of course, the Bliss Designed Body Salon series is all about your physiology, all about really resetting the metabolism in a way that's not just physiological. It's energetic, it's frequency-based, it's frequency medicine, beautiful. Then I have the Bliss Designed Love Salon series, which is all about the sexual magnetism, everything from, you know, orgasm 101 to orgasm 501. So there we get into every detail of our sexuality. And the Bliss Design Legacy, if you really want to focus on finding your purpose, energizing your purpose, unleashing it into the world. So that is a gift. You will get one of those Salon series.
What do you usually charge for those?
$1,050 for each.
Cool. Yeah. Sounds like a killer deal to me.
So it's beautiful and it's fun. And you'll get to have a one-on-one with me too, because it's part of the salon. So that is high touch presence from me. But one of the most important things about this retreat, I think, is, you know, you said the difference between the Ritz-Carlton type of environment near you versus a retreat space. You know, the future of luxury isn't just the Ritz and the quality and the cocktails. It really is about us having time and space for illumination, for expansion, for transformation, and for bliss. And bliss is the zenith of a human frequency. That is actually why I'm doing. So come in, you know, have beautiful, luxurious space and environment to move through, but also really an environment where you can get that illumination, that transformation, expansion, and be around people who are at that frequency too. So it's a win-win. Look how beautiful it is.
Yeah, come hang out.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thanks, Ben. Any questions from anyone? I don't, you know what? I can't even see what. I'll answer them out if there are any.
Okay,
Thank
cool.
And if you have any questions, do reach out to me, PM me in person, and I'm happy to answer them.
Perfect. All right, Denisa, thank you so much. This has been so much fun doing all these interviews with you. Fun collaboration.
Yes.
And I'm so looking forward to meeting you in person and having you here and just seeing what kind of bliss you can pull out of this place. Cool.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, brother. Bye.
Lots of love. Bye.